are getting ready to start our podcast.
What are you doing over there?
I'm texting your mother.
I can always tell when you guys are texting,
Why?
With the text to speech function, because there's always like 3 to 4 spelling mistakes in the paragraph. Because it'll be like, "Hello, when are you going over when?" And I'm like, I don't understand. Was that English? Like, I don't get it. Okay.
Because we're thinking of what to say.
Yeah.
Well, you know, your mom like sometimes will leave me an actual voice message on the phone, and she'll think she's texting, so she'll say, "Are you coming to pick me up?" period, and it'll be on voicemail. It's hysterical. Anyway, we're doing a movie podcast, not commentary on how old people text.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us.
you came back for the second episode.
For episode
Good for
2.
you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
The first one didn't scare you off. We're continuing. I actually don't know if I said this during the first episode, so my bad. But we're doing, for our October movie themes, we're doing all Hitchcock movies. It's kind of the thing, and we'll like tell you the next one at the end of this one and so forth.
Because it's amazing that we looked at the there are so many different lists, but we looked at a list of the 50 greatest classic movies of all time, and Hitchcock is on there a lot. So we thought, why not do Hitchcock in October? So
So so we watched Vertigo, and let's get into it. I'm gonna give a little background of Vertigo.
Please do, because
yeah, we talked a little bit about it beforehand, and Dad didn't have the best experience, but we'll talk about it. Okay, so obviously directed by Hitchcock, released in '58. I've noticed that he based a lot of his stuff off of like either a short story or a short film or something, like a book or something like that. It's based loosely on the 1954 French novel. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, but it's called From Among the Dead by Pierre Boileau and Thomas. I'm not going to say that either. But
it's French, right?
Yeah, it's French. Something French. Sounds like croissant. James Stewart's in it. He plays Scotty. Kim Novak's in it. And then the supporting cast includes Barbara. Do you say Bel Geddes?
Barbara Bel Geddes. Miss Ellie from Dallas.
Yep, there you go.
Later, 20 years later.
Yeah, and Tom Helmore as Gavin Esther, the husband, who's like barely in the movie.
Underwhelming, sorry.
Yeah. But the music score by Bernard Herrmann is considered one of his best and most haunting works. I thought it was really good. But this wanted to point out like a couple things about this movie is the little zoom that appears whenever Scotty, James Stewart's character, whenever he looks down and experiences vertigo. That's actually like referred to as the vertigo effect in movies now, because they kind of pioneered it with the dolly zoom where they kind of pull back while they're zooming.
And speaking of that, you already alluded to the fact that vertigo might not be my cup of tea, but I really have decided that with a lot of these movies, classic movies or not, you have to, in a way, if you're able, look at these movies from the standpoint of someone who would be watching it in 1958 on the big screen.
Oh, yeah.
Because, we're sitting movie nights with Dad in the living room with the coffee behind us, and we're not seeing it the way they did. So I have to give the movies a little more grace because of that. So,
are you apologizing?
Yes. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Dad said he hated it. No, I'm kidding.
I didn't say I hated it.
But so of course, you always got it. That's what I think about like all of these. It's like you want to think about the audience it was intended for when you're watching it,
True.
But it was filmed in San Francisco, Golden Gate Bridge, Mission, San Juan Bautista, and the Colt Tower. The color symbolism is like a huge thing in this. But it was actually, so this, to your credit, this was a box office flop at first. So they didn't. It really underperformed. They thought it was too slow and dark. A lot of audiences said that. and that it changed, it like kind of damaged Jimmy Stewart's leading man status as like the everyman character that he usually plays. And Hitchcock himself considered the film a failure and partly blamed Stewart for being too old for the role. So, which is interesting because, you know, Jimmy Stewart's awesome, but
he was in his 40s, upper 40s, I believe.
And but it was a little bit of a, but like the age difference in Rear Window was just as stark. You know, it was pretty, which it was common back then.
Yeah.
But you know, but yeah, first impressions. What'd you think? And I've never seen this before. You said you've never seen it before. Either.
Well, you know, I was familiar with a lot of it, but I think it's probably because I've seen clips here and there over the years and bits and pieces. I don't know. Yeah. But I suppose I was expecting what a lot of audiences at the time were expecting. And you know how I'm feeling about this before I say anything about just I should come right out and say, you know, I just kind of was like, why is Vertigo on one of the greatest movies of all time lists? Why? I've heard that Vertigo replaced Citizen Kane as the number one movie of all. And I'm thinking, what?
Yeah, what was I should have written it down. I forgot what the actual
I don't know
board that decided that or something.
I don't know. And I don't even know because you look up even the list that we're going from, the 50 best classic movies of all time. There are a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, right.
So, but when I think of Vertigo upsetting Citizen Kane, I'm thinking, oh, I'm totally missing something.
Yeah.
Because we'll talk about this more, each episode. You think I am missing something?
No, I'm kidding.
We'll talk about this during our podcast episodes, but I do review current movies.
Yeah.
I just reviewed Eleanor the Great, which opens today with June Squibb, who's 95 years old.
Well, not today. It opens because it would have been in the past because we're filming this before.
We're filming this early. Sorry.
Also,
never mind. Eleanor the Great opened recently. I reviewed it recently.
Yeah.
And it came out later after I reviewed it.
Yeah.
But anyway, I often have, probably three. I think I have reviewed 3 Wes Anderson films.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some Wes Anderson, several Wes Anderson
I've heard
films.
your takes on these too.
And I walk out of the movie thinking, I don't quite. And then I think, I'm not smart enough to understand Wes Anderson. I almost
choked on my water just now. You walk out going,
Well, I think maybe I'm not smart enough to watch a Wes Anderson film. And I want so much, I've always had this need. I want to fit in. I want to be, I want to be cool, and I want to be real avant-garde and and quirky and all that. But
that's okay.
I just don't understand Wes Anderson films. So then I'll post my review, and I'll get all this backlash. Like, what do you mean you don't get Wes Anderson films? And all these people are so in tune to Wes Anderson films. So I'm assuming that if I sit here and say, I don't really get Vertigo, we're going to have all these cerebral, highbrow, really smart people going, like you, going, why didn't you get it? It obviously it was, about this and this. But so I looked up several things that, there are a whole bunch of internet articles and entries that say, why doesn't anyone like Vertigo?
Yeah.
Why was Vertigo misunderstood? Why was Vertigo on one of the, top 10 lists, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And so really what I found out, the 3 biggest things that I found out, that people are expecting something from Hitchcock films. Hitchcock.
Totally. Yeah. Hitchcock
is known by now as a horror film guy.
Yeah.
And they're expecting certain things, shocking things, or whatever. And Vertigo kind of goes against that.
It's kind of like a lot of people will make the argument, and thinking from like a music standpoint, I know people who are really into Taylor Swift, and she's very polarizing. You're either, like, I don't know many people who are just kind of in the middle about Taylor Swift. But some people will say that, like, oh, if so and so had written this song, then you would have loved it. But since Taylor Swift wrote it,
Swift did it, right,
so it's kind of the thing with Hitchcock where you're because Hitchcock did it, it was amazing, or
you
something.
Have high expectations.
Yeah.
And really, we have to be okay with not liking some of the stuff that the greats do.
Oh yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah. Well, I mean, Hitchcock himself said it was a failure, that's saying something.
Yeah. And then I think another reason was, we just did Rear Window last episode,
which I liked better, I will say.
Oh yeah. And the romance in that movie, of course, Grace Kelly drifts into the apartment in her, how do you say that, haute couture fashions or whatever.
No idea. I don't even know what you're trying to say.
I've always wanted to know how to say it. Anyway, her fancy clothes, and she's. Where is it?
The camera's right there.
Am I?
You keep looking up here.
I keep looking up. Sorry.
We've got a TV screen up here.
To all the people in the balcony.
Yeah.
So, she's beautiful. I totally bought that they, he's older, more distinguished. She's in love with him. I totally bought it.
Yeah.
This movie, the romance happens quickly and again, I'm going to tell some people that, and they're going to say, well, it wasn't about the romance. And,
that's what I said.
So people meaning him.
Meaning me.
Yeah. So, and, the last thing that really made sense to me that people were talking about on the internet, on that internet, the information superhighway, like Bill Clinton used to call
ChatGPT
it.
and all that stuff.
That there's really not as much emphasis on plot as there is on all of this psychological obsession stuff.
Yeah. People love just like stuff that's out there and shocking, and they love the cinematography effects and things. And
so therefore that brings me back to looking at it from an audience member standpoint in 1958. Sure. They were not used to this they were not used to going against the horror genre. They were not used to some kind of weird romantic
obsession.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they weren't used to this psychotic stuff. They were just thinking they were going to get in there and get shocked and scared. And so I guess
it's kind of seen as I don't want to list out all of them, but he's got all these different kinds of thrillers, and this is his psychological thriller, which is, I feel like it was something very new in that 1958.
True.
He kind of pioneered a lot of that stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, am I going to sit here and tell you that I hated it? No.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just like everybody else. I might as well have watched it in 1958. I had expectations for it, and
Yeah.
So I probably would have to watch it again, dig into it a little bit more.
Yeah.
The acting to me was pretty good.
Yeah.
I just initially it would not be one of my favorites. Wouldn't be one of my Hitchcock favorites, and I don't know that I would ever say, "Oh, it's the #1 greatest movie of all time."
Yeah.
But
it's a mixed bag. I mean, I kind of felt the same way. I still gave it like a good review. I just liked Rear Window better.
Yeah.
I like some of his other movies better. I don't think it's his best one, like some people say.
Right.
But I will say, I mean, as my first time watching this, I mentioned this to you, I got kind of upset because I didn't see the twist coming, and I feel like I should have, because Hitchcock does this thing where he like kind of puts it right in front of your face, and then but doesn't reveal it to you, because with the green and everything, and we'll talk about it. But I literally wrote in my notes.
The green.
Yeah, I wrote in my notes, okay, she's got a green car. Every time he follows her, there's green somewhere. There's something with green. And then she shows up in a green dress, and I didn't even catch it.
There's really kind of like the color was even strange. Like there was kind of just a green
ghostly
fog all the time,
Well, the internet sleuths would tell you that's part of the point. It's supposed to be like an illusion.
I should follow the internet sleuths. Maybe they're the ones that are going to say, "Why don't you get the movie?"
Yep.
So
hey, comment it if you think he's wrong.
There will be several.
Yeah. Cool. But yeah, this film has been played up as one of the best he's ever done. I think there are better films that he's done for sure. I think Rear Window was better. I just think this film opened, if you're talking from like a cinematography standpoint, if you're talking from a horror genre standpoint, I think it opened a lot of doors. And I think that's what people kind of look to. But you're right, like the people in 1958 didn't have the context of what a landmark film this would be to kind of open the doors for all that stuff.
Now, I would like to hear from movie aficionados, people who've been reviewing movies forever, and I would like to hear why they think the movie's great. I would like to hear from these people who are putting it on these top 10 lists, because I would listen. I would say, oh, I'm sure I would agree. But from our standpoint, our little dad and son podcast here. So
but let's get into, where are we at with time? Let's get into like some of the story and like the theme of stuff. So what about, so let's get into like just the plot, right? It's pretty simple, but I do feel like it was kind of dragged out a little bit. I told that to you, like where, but I think that's kind of a modern audience thing where we're so used to movies kind of getting to the point to keep our attention. And I don't think Hitchcock was really worried about that with this. They kind of just went right to it. What do you think about the story and the plot in general? Like,
I mean, the story setup made sense. Jimmy Stewart plays Scotty Ferguson. I'm assuming they called him Scotty because Ferguson is a Scottish name.
I got confused by that. I didn't really know why. Because
Barbara Bel Geddes' character Midge calls him Johnny O.
And then they just started calling him Scotty, and I was like, what's going on?
So I'm thinking, well, Ferguson, I suppose,
probably
Scottish. Anyway, he plays a police officer, detective, I think, and they're chasing a bad guy across the roof, and he narrowly escapes falling. A police officer falls. We don't want to give too much of this away, but
people have seen it.
Well, I guess so. He realizes that he has vertigo when he looks down. So,
sorry, I'm doing something over here.
Yeah, it's okay.
Promise I'm listening to you.
Yeah. And then after that, one of his friends, I suppose they were friends. Gavin Elster, is that his name?
Yep. Yeah, they were old college buddies.
College buddies. Knows that Scotty was a police officer, or private detective.
Yep.
And he wants him to find out where his wife seems to wander the city and disappears for large lengths of time, and so this guy hires Scotty to follow her, and he slowly becomes obsessed with her.
Yeah, and it's crazy with the twist too, because it's funny because one of the themes of this movie is obsession. It's Scotty's obsession with not even Judy, it's Madeline, but her real name's Judy, and it's crazy to me because if you're thinking about that from like a clinical standpoint or something, that's a really fascinating, like, oh, this person has been possessed, or she thinks she's possessed by her dead grandmother or something. And so I think with like the long drawn out parts where we're just kind of following Jimmy Stewart. I keep wanting to call him Jimmy because it's Jimmy Stewart.
Go ahead, we know who you're talking about.
Yeah, you're like, I don't even know what's going on. Well, when we're just kind of following Scotty, follow her, we're just with him, kind of being obsessed with this. Oh, what's she doing? Where's she going? Like, what's going on? And but I kind of want to talk about this later. But yeah, it was hard for me to see Jimmy Stewart in that role. I think because I just want to like him so much. It was like asking me to like hate Mr. Rogers or something. It's like I can't do it. Like that's hard.
Well, I find it funny that you say that Hitchcock ended up saying, that Jimmy Stewart, I don't know, what were his exact
he said
words?
He didn't say that he like ruined it. No, he said Stewart was too old for the role. He said that was one of the reasons, him being too old for this role in particular.
Well, to me, I really feel like in a way Hitchcock weaponized Stewart's likability. I mean, everyone likes
Yeah, good point.
everyone. So I almost think Hitchcock knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah.
Maybe he knew exactly what he was doing when he said he was too old for the role, or maybe he said it after the movie came out. I don't know.
Yeah.
But to me, he knew exactly what he was doing. He said,
Right.
"Hey, let's mess with their head a little more here."
Yeah.
Because everyone loves him. He's you know, It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah, exactly.
all those like we just love him, and still it's hard not to like him here and not to cheer for him. But some of the moments where he's just so cold and calculating, and you know, when Judy's protesting,
like getting her hair done and getting
she's
the dress.
protesting, and he says to her, "It can't matter to you."
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa,
who is that?
That's,
and that's
not
why
something. Yeah.
I totally get what, you know, if that's what Hitchcock was trying to do by trying to kind of almost get us to betray our own sensibilities by like, oh, I love Jimmy Stewart, he's great. But like, it didn't come across that way. I almost think you need to have someone in that role who is a little less likable, who you can like, but then you also are able to see in like this obsessive controlling nature, you know?
But if you have somebody who's less likable, then they don't have to work very hard for that part. They have to work harder for the finding the endearing qualities. Jimmy Stewart already had that. And I think that's one. I really do think that Hitchcock must have known this, because we're not just scared by some of the head games in the movie. We're scared. This is another head game. We're scared because we've never seen this side of Jimmy Stewart. It's unsettling to us. That's scary to be unsettled by this guy. And, you know, there have been plenty of movies. I can't think of any right now, but there have been movies over time where, hey, this guy's playing a bad guy, you know, and it's unsettling. So I'm just thinking that Hitchcock probably knew what he was doing.
Yeah. I also wanted to point out, this is something I found, the book that I can't pronounce, that you could just look up, because I'm not going to attempt. I'm going to get canceled for trying to say some French on here. No, but the book ends differently. It goes the exact same way. It's a like an obsessive guy who finds, but it ends differently. Where, you know how this one ends with her just falling off because the nun comes up and scares her or whatever. The book actually ends with the nun,
which was a little funny to me.
It's kind of goofy. No, it was goofy. like he.
And then she immediately rings that big bell. That was just kind of like,
she went,
what?
She goes, oh. It's kind of funny.
Fell out the window, you know.
Well,
let's ring the bell.
But the book ends with, and I can't say then all the names are French. They're all different because it's French. But the Jimmy Stewart's character strangles her at the end.
Oh, in the book.
And so Hitchcock changed it so that he loses her again. And it's like, you wonder how differently, like, I wonder if he did it because it was Jimmy Stewart. Like, audiences probably couldn't stomach Jimmy Stewart choking someone out on camera. Like that would be
I would
crazy.
imagine there would have been outrage if Jimmy
exactly.
Stewart had.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, I don't know.
But I just thought that was interesting that they changed. I mean, there would have been outrage for sure, but it's like, how would that have looked, you know? But with all that discussion, I want to ask one of the questions I asked in the previous episode about the story and plot and things like that. If you had written this or directed it, if you had some kind of control over the story and you could change one thing about it, what would you change or what would you do to kind of make it maybe more interesting? Because we've talked about some of like the flaws in this movie and things that could have been better, which is crazy because it's an Alfred Hitchcock movie and you're like, what could we have done? But, you know.
Well, I mean, I can't pinpoint one thing, but I love Barbara Bel Geddes. There's something about her. She's a theater actress. The way she speaks, she's just so subtle. And I saw an interview with her, 20, 30 years after she did this picture, and she said, you know, Hitchcock would stand there with me, and he would say, "Don't act, look up, look to the side, look." And if you notice her while she's drawing and Scotty's talking to her, she's just very subtle, you know, and he'll say something and she'll answer him very, you know, very calmly. And I just really like her
She was awesome.
addition to the, and she really is kind of the heart of the film.
Yeah. She's the one we connect with.
Right. You connect
Really?
with her. I had some notes here. I'm looking down here. She's, I think probably we like her. I think a lot of people like her in this movie. I think probably we like her because she's the most sane person in the film.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's healthy.
Yeah.
And she, of course, I think there's something to be said that makes us uneasy as well. She obviously very much loves Scotty. She's devoted to him. And you know, if he had said, "Oh, well, I don't really love her, but I'm gonna go ahead and marry her," or whatever.
Yeah.
She's a safe person, a warm person. She's grounded. She would take care of him, and that's obviously the reason that he just is like, you know, you're not the one for me.
It makes it even more, because that's kind of when you first start not liking Scotty's character, is when you find out they were engaged, and then did she break it off? I think she broke it off. Or did he break it off?
I don't remember what they said. See, we should have taken better
written it down.
notes.
I in my memory, she broke it off because she knew that he didn't really love her the same way, and she was like, "I deserve more," which is fair. But I'm the same way with you. I wish they would have fleshed her character out more.
Yeah, I just don't think that. So that's what I would change about the movie.
Yeah.
I would do a little more with Barbara Bel Geddes, but some people would probably say, you can't do anything more with her because she's very understated.
Sure.
She's that whole maternal presence. You can't do a lot more with her.
That makes sense.
You know.
Yeah.
And her unrequited love was the core of that whole story there.
Yeah.
I really felt sorry for her because she was obviously doing that caricature painting.
Oh yes, I forgot about that.
Yeah. She was doing that painting to. She thought it would be funny. She thought he was going to take it.
Yeah.
She thought he was going to take it as funny, and
that's when I really didn't like him.
It totally backfired.
Yeah.
He was already so deeply into the whole Carlotta Valdez deal.
That's it. Yeah.
And the painting and all of that she really thought she was doing something funny. It was kind of funny to see her head on that.
That was hilarious. Yeah. But she went to a great effort to try and make him feel better about the situation she knew that he was down about, and he was just like, no, and then walks out.
And I think at that moment too, not only was she embarrassed, not only was she was really trying to cope with the whole thing because she loves him.
Of course.
You know, she's trying to make light of this, and why are you getting so involved? But I think not only was she embarrassed, but she then realized how deep he was into this whole thing.
Yeah. When
he reacted the way he does. And then we didn't see her again.
Yeah.
Really after that.
That was it. Well, she came back after that to like see him when he was in the hospital, right?
Yes.
When he was like just kind of dazed.
That's true. That
was it.
That's true.
We don't see her after that. Yeah. Like, and it's like he kind of just uses her almost.
Well, and I think to those of us who like to imagine what happens after the movie stops, you know that Midge is going to be around to take care of him.
Exactly. Well, and that's the whole thing to me about this movie is it's like, so it's about obsession, but then there's the whole theme of objectification where I think like when you think of someone objectifying someone, we usually see it in like a lustful sense. We usually mean that in a lustful way. True. But I think that can be done. I think it's anytime you would take away someone's personhood. And what Scotty does with Judy and Madeline is he's obviously obsessed with her, objectifies her, just is like, well, it shouldn't matter. You can change your hair, you can do your clothes. But he also does that with Midge too, because he uses her for her friendship and for her like her maternal, and he knows that she's in love with him, and he kind of uses that to string her along and get what he needs from her, and it's
I don't know. And Barbara Bel Geddes, the way she presents a line, did you ever notice how certain things when she was responding to certain things, she'll kind of like draw out the last word of the sentence, and she lets it kind of softly. I don't know. It's just she's just got a very good way of presenting herself.
Yeah.
She's very,
is she the only character that we sympathize with in this?
Maybe because Tom Helmore's on here as Gavin Elster, and
Yeah.
you know, you don't sympathize with him at all.
No.
Although at first you think, well, he's just a good buddy of Scotty's, but
Yeah, he's
this,
like the villain.
he totally. But it's he's so aloof. Everything is so calculated. He's so suave that whole villain role is just so underplayed.
Yeah.
So really, in a way, his manipulation in the end is so effective because he's just so, low key villain here, which again goes against the genre. It goes against the usual. We're not used to seeing a villain like that.
Totally. Yeah. Because you kind of because after his wife dies, and we don't know yet, right? He goes up to Scotty and he's like, "Well, I forgive you. We couldn't have known, you know." And you think, "Oh, what an understanding person," and then he flips it on you.
But when you look at Hitchcock's work, all of his stuff, he has a lot of tricksters in his movies that are deceiving. Yet I guess they're cloaked in civility.
They're
very civil, and
it's like all of his monsters are just people that you could see.
Well, and when we talk about Psycho, there's more. Oh my gosh, there, but So
totally cool. Anything else to say about like Midge or any of the story stuff? We can get into like acting more if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, sure. Well, I always love Ellen Corby, who played Grandma in The Waltons. I always go back to 1970s television. Yeah, Barbara Bel Geddes in Dallas, and Ellen Corby was Grandma Walton on The Waltons.
Wait, so who is Ellen Corby in this one?
She was, let's see, the hotel was at the McKittrick Hotel. She was the lady at the desk at the hotel.
I'm blanking. Hotel. I'm completely blanking.
When Madeline goes to, he sees her up in the hotel room.
Oh, yes.
She's not there.
Yes. Yes.
Well, what was interesting to me is when he first walks into that hotel, no one's at the desk either. And then all of a sudden, there she is. Yeah. I don't remember exactly what her name was. It was the McKittrick Hotel. She was the manager.
I remember that now. Yeah.
And Ellen Corby's just a fantastic character actress because she just always, she's not there very long, but she's always got a lot of impact when she's there. Yeah. When her whole demeanor during that little scene is just it's dry, but she's just kind of got this eerie quality about her. I don't know if it's foreshadowing.
Yeah. Well, it kind of feeds into the illusionary effect.
Well, and you don't know it, I guess, but you kind of think, does she know more than she's letting on? I mean, she's, because he convinces her, I'm a police officer, I need to know what you're doing. Well, is she in trouble? She just you feel like she kind of knows that there's crazy going on.
That's so, like,
I guess.
I'm glad that you noticed this stuff, because I feel like as someone like me, like, who's just like looking at all, I'm one of these like internet sleuth guys who is like looking at all the, but you notice the acting of character actors, which I feel like is the glue to the entire movie. Because you're like, they have these small roles and they have to do such a huge impact, and it's almost like when they do their job, you don't notice them. So that's she did a great job. So,
absolutely. Where would we be without all these great character actresses and actors?
Ellen Corby. Look her up.
Ellen Corby. The rest of them, I mean, Raymond Bailey played the doctor. He was Mr. Drysdale on the Beverly Hillbillies later. He wasn't outstanding or anything.
Sure, but he's in there. Yeah, he's part of it. What did you think? So we talked a lot about James Stewart. We haven't talked a ton about Kim Novak. We did talk about how. So I saw a source saying that he wanted Vera Miles, and then you were who's in like Psycho, and then some other things, but she wasn't in this because she was pregnant. Yeah. And so, but then who did you?
I think, and I could be wrong. I think I read that he, of course, wanted Grace Kelly. Okay. And I was thinking, boy, if Grace Kelly had been in this, it would have brought a whole different vibe to the movie.
Oh my gosh, even Vera Miles, like either of those two, would have been awesome in this role. Like,
I think Kim Novak has always gotten a bad rep because bad rep, whatever.
Reputation.
You know what I'm talking about?
Something.
As not being a super strong actress.
Okay.
Excuse me. Hiccup. But really, if you look closer at her performance here, you got to give her, again, you give her some grace, like I'm trying to give grace to the whole movie. She is an actress. She's a woman playing a woman.
Yeah.
And you know, she does a lot. I feel like she does a lot of, walking slowly through a room, and all this mysterious.
Well, and she did, and I told you, I didn't notice that Judy was also her. I genuinely didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
And you could say, well, they had her in different makeup and different hair color, different dress. But that's also a testament to her ability to act it as a different character and have you not even notice it's still her.
And I'm thinking that is another thing that audiences in 1958, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that information would have leaked out, but she looked so different as Judy when she transformed into Madeline again. You're like, wow.
The scene, I told Kylie about this because it kind of gave me goosebumps because I didn't notice. I noticed probably when most people noticed, but it was when Jimmy finally convinced her. I keep calling him Jimmy. Scotty finally convinced her to go out to dinner, right? And she's like, okay. And then he shuts the door. And you get this shot of just the back of her head, and then the lights kind of change. And I went, oh my gosh, that's her. That's actually her. Yeah. And then she turns around and kind of goes, and then she remembers the whole thing. But it gave me goosebumps because I was like, that's really her.
Well, she kind of reveals to the camera, who I really am.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that there must have been some people in the audience that probably knew. Yeah, but a lot of people
convinced me that I'm dumber than I think I am.
Right.
Because I was like, how did I not notice that was still her?
We've got to make a pact here that we're not gonna, like my Wes Anderson issue. We're
gonna out ourselves.
We're not just like stupid people. We like what we like. We see what we see.
Movie nights with Dad. We're two idiots.
Watch movies. Dummies. They don't know what they're talking about. I think Kim Novak though. We got to give her some props because, as I said, she's playing a woman. She has all that stillness going on when she's Madeline.
What does that mean? A woman playing a woman. What do you mean by that?
Well, she was Judy playing Madeline at first.
Oh, that's what. Okay, so a character playing a character.
Yes.
Gotcha.
She's got to be aware of that because every now and then, Judy might leak out a little bit in her Madeline performance. I don't know.
Yeah.
So she was playing up all that mysterious stillness things. I mean, when she first started talking after she jumped into the water, when she first started talking back at his apartment, I thought, well, she's got an accent or something because it's just very, very careful with what she was saying, very careful with what she how she was saying things, very still. And then when she was Judy, when he met her as Judy, there was a lot of nervousness, there was a lot of hesitancy.
Yeah.
And so there's a very deliberate acting contrast that Kim Novak brings across that I think she's probably not credited with, that she needs to be credited with because, I've heard a lot of, and again, just like Grace Kelly, I think people tend to be a little harder on the actresses who are. She's beautiful lady. I think they're harder on the ladies who have that beauty.
Because, why do you think people are harder on them? You don't know?
I don't know. I think people are harder on good-looking people. I don't know.
That's a struggle we deal with every day.
We both can relate totally.
Yeah.
But when I wrote down some other things. When you look at Kim Novak has that natural melancholy. We saw it in that when she kind of looks at the camera.
Totally.
She's got a pretty pronounced sadness in her eyes, which also is fantastic acting. And really, she just kind of brings that. You always look for actors who act from the inside out, and she's got some energy within her, I think, that she brings out when you're looking at her. You see her gazing, off in the distance, or gazing at Jim Stewart or something.
Right.
And there's like a haunting effect with her as well.
Yeah.
But she became really, and I don't know that she did it on. I don't know if they did it on purpose because You know, she was not his first choice, but she became really the ideal Hitchcock blonde, I think, in the end, from what I've read. And
Yeah,
Hitchcock had an obsession with blondes.
Oh my gosh,
so
yeah.
why don't you talk a little bit about Hitchcock, because we like to talk a little bit about the dirt, don't we?
Okay, that might be in later episodes because
Okay.
So it's good that you brought it up because I mean we didn't talk about it in the last episode because in Rear Window none of the cast ever came out and were like, yeah, he was totally fine with me, but obviously there's been documentaries, there's been books and everything written about Hitchcock and his overbearing and basically cruel directing style. And I don't think I couldn't find anything about Kim Novak saying. I think is Tippi
Hedren,
Tippi
definitely.
Hedren from Birds.
Yeah, she did.
From the Birds, it definitely did. And Kim Novak commented on that and said, "I don't want to like discount her experience, but mine was fine."
Yeah.
She
Classy.
said that. Yeah,
classy way to answer.
yeah,
that.
for sure. But yeah, as far as we know, or as far as I know, there might have been something that I'm missing, and I apologize if I missed it. But there's nothing in this movie, and while we say that Hitchcock is a great director, we don't want to leave that out. We want to like hold the nuance in there, be like, hey, this terrible stuff happened, but these are also really good movies.
Yeah.
So,
but he was kind of a taskmaster. But
totally.
I think just finishing up what I was saying about Kim Novak too. I think one of the biggest things that stood out with me when she was going through that whole green fog sequence thing where she's transforming.
Yeah.
When Judy transforms into Madeline again, because Jimmy Stewart's asking her to do that. Before this, it had really been focused on her beauty and her drifting across the room, and she's sitting in the art gallery and very poised and beautiful there.
Yeah.
But you can see as she's walking toward him after she's had her hair dyed and all of this and her makeup has been done, you can see the sacrifice on her face. You can see total submission. She keeps saying, "Will you like me then? Will you like me? Is this gonna?" So there's all this submission, and she's basically just decided, I'm gonna erase myself, and become Madeline for him, because what's the song? I fooled around and fell in love. Even though it was hard for me, I'm like, boy, that happened fast. But she fell in love with Scotty as Madeline, but she's really Judy. So
talk about the weird psychology with that.
So I just think there's a lot going on there with her, and I think that cannot be ruled out when you're looking at her performance, because I don't remember if she got a Oscar nomination for this or not. I'd have to look it up. Do you remember?
I don't think Kim Novak did.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So
we're kind of I kind of want to come into a little bit of our closing segments.
Okay.
We'll still stay on like acting and stuff, or we'll just get to our
I don't have anything else to say about acting.
Okay. Nothing. So you do, because I'm going to ask you this. I could talk about this first because it's one of my gotcha questions. We're going to do the classic casting swap. If you could take anybody from anywhere and put it somewhere in this movie. This is a very obscure pick, but I talked about how Jimmy Stewart in this role is a little weird. It's like asking me to hate Mr. Rogers, and I didn't know at first, and then I had the image in my head, and then I was like, who is that? And I kept looking him up. Do you know Michael Shannon? The actor, he's like won some awards. I recently saw him in Bullet Train with Brad Pitt. He was in Revolutionary Road.
So he wouldn't
Nocturnal
he
Animals.
wouldn't be the right age. But you're just saying.
Well, him at like a younger age. He's older now, but like him in the right age. If I could pick anyone from all time, I'm like him as a younger.
Okay.
But he's got this like. So he's got a likability about him, right? But he's got something about him that just kind of creeps me out, and maybe that's just me. Yeah. But he's got kind of a face where you could easily be like, oh, he can be obsessive, and it's so. Yeah.
That might be interesting.
But yeah. Do you have anybody?
Well, I mean, mine are obvious. I mean, you hear that they wanted Grace Kelly.
Yeah, she would have been great.
I would like to have just. Hey, why don't all three of you play the same part? Let's see which one we like better. But Grace Kelly, I think, would have brought a whole new ethereal quality. Is
ethereal.
That the word? Ethereal.
Yeah.
Ethereal.
I'm gonna name my daughter.
See, I'm really not very smart. Ethereal. You're gonna name.
I'm
your
gonna name my
daughter
future
Ethereal.
daughter Ethel.
My granddaughter
Yeah.
Ethereal.
Yeah.
Call her Ethy. Sound like we have a lisp. Oh boy, we're gonna get in trouble now for now. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. Grace Kelly, to me, if I saw her in that role, I think that there would constantly be like almost a gauze quality over every scene she was in.
Oh yeah, just
I don't know. I mean, probably. I mean, what if you put Thelma Ritter from Rear Window in as the hotel clerk?
Oh yeah, she'd be
She
good.
could have kind of a wisecracking.
It'd be more of like snarky. Yeah, that'd be good.
But I would imagine that Alfred Hitchcock had his little company of people that he liked to work with.
Yeah.
So he moved them around because you're going to see some other people in the other films that you've seen before in some of his films. So I don't know if I said that right or not, but
yeah.
Anyway.
Something I wanted to talk about because not because like. Well, I guess I don't want to talk about it because I just want to mention it. But I have a little segment that I did in the last episode called "On Stage or On Screen," and if it would work as a theater production.
Okay.
And I looked it up, couldn't find any. I think it would be borderline impossible to do this because the twist wouldn't work, right? Because it's like the audience would be like, "That's the same person," unless it's you shoot it as not the twist or something. But it's also so like location specific. San Francisco is almost like a character in and of itself, like where it's kind of we're following around and it's like all these winding roads and stuff. But
it would work on stage. I think you'd have to. I forget in the movie is there quite a bit, like, does he have stuff going on with Midge and things in between Madeline's death and when he meets Judy? I don't know how quickly that happened.
No, the only thing, I'm pretty sure the only encounter him and Midge have is when she visits him in the hospital, and that's it. There's nothing after that.
So I don't know what happened between the time that Madeline falls. He goes to the hospital.
He goes to the hospital because he's just kind of in a trance because it's like it happened to him twice now, and
that's
like
right.
She goes, I don't know if you can hear me, like that. He's almost almost like mute, like he can't even speak.
And then he goes back to the Elster house.
Yeah.
And a blonde comes out, and it's actually some older lady from a distance who looks like her who's buying her car.
Well, and I should have looked this up, but I wonder if they had Kim Novak
doing
in the distance. They probably did.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was trippy. You were just like, whoa.
More as part of the psychological bent.
Yeah.
But I think it would work on the stage because, but you'd have to really be very careful. I can imagine an actress rushing off. She'd have to throw a wig on.
Sure.
You'd have to do some pretty snazzy stuff with her makeup.
Oh yeah.
It could be done. I think.
I think so too. I think
there would be a lot of dry ice.
For sure. Yeah, a lot of green, dry.
Yes.
But it's like you could trick an audience with enough makeup and a hairpiece and something, But it's almost like that time that this is I swear this makes sense, but for the Superman movies, Henry Cavill, the guy who looks like Superman, they had him like walk downtown like New York with glasses on, and nobody recognized him.
Really?
And I was like,
he's like a giant of a man.
Yeah, but like nobody was like, oh, because he just had, and they were like trying to prove that the Clark Kent thing would actually work, just wearing glasses.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could trick an audience. Another little segment, double feature.
Oh boy, I forgot about this one.
Yeah, it's okay. I have I could talk first while you think.
Can you tell we haven't prepped some of these?
Okay. So. It's okay. People like that.
I don't know if they do.
I thought of. Did you say I don't know what that means?
I don't know if they like it or not. We'll see.
I thought you
this might be our only 2 episodes. I don't know.
Yeah, this is it. Finale. This is the finale. So my double feature I thought of, and this is kind of funny because it's like, hey, one of the greatest movies that's ever been made. Have you seen Parasite? It was a 2019 film. There was, I think it was like Rolling Stone or something named it like the best movie of all time recently. It's a psychological thriller by it's a Korean film by Bong Joon-ho, I think. Yeah, Bong Joon-ho. And which I haven't seen like any of his other stuff, but he recently directed Mickey 17 with Robert Pattinson. I haven't seen that, but I've seen it's psychological thriller. Same kind of thing, but like where there's some comedy elements to it at some points, but it's like, and it's one of those slow burns too, where you kind of like, and there's a little twist involved, and
so it might be good for a double
insanely
feature.
good film. Yeah. It's very similar to this one. It's got that psychological thriller aspect. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to like pair those together. But yeah, do you have any in mind? I don't think, and I'm not the same way. I don't really watch a lot of thriller horror movies.
Yeah.
So like starting off with Hitchcock is really funny.
Yeah.
Because but
I really don't have an answer right now. But
yeah.
I'm thinking, look for a movie that had a doppelganger in it or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I might have to get back to you. I might just say, I like your Parasite idea. I will look into that. So
there you go.
Sorry,
we might watch that.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
So.
If we could afford bonus content right now, we would do that.
We could afford it. Pay us.
Yeah.
Final takeaway. I think everybody in this movie just uses each other. I think a lot of times in life, I feel like we tend to objectify the people around us. You kind of tend to just like, you don't think you're doing it, but then sometimes you go, I feel like I'm just taking what I need from that person. I'm not really actually there for them, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that I think is that, and the obsession of the object you make of someone else, the obsession of that. I think that was kind of Hitchcock's point. Mm-hmm. If you're trying to put like a moral theme to it or something.
Well, it's unsettling.
Yes.
Which I think he was really going for unsettling across the board.
Yeah.
He knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
So in that respect, maybe this is just this brilliant movie because he's totally
that you're just not getting.
Fooled us all, you know, that I'm just not getting. But
that's okay.
Anyway.
Would you recommend this to somebody else?
Yes.
Okay.
But watch it several times.
I
will watch it with you.
And I think that might be a thing because like modern audiences can just like watch it 5 times in a row.
Well, I want to watch it again because and
you want to get
I
it.
probably will watch it again. Like I need to watch all the Wes Anderson.
You want to be one of the highbrow snobs. Yeah.
I want to completely get it.
You want to be one of the snobs.
And I will have to come back to you later and say I still don't get it. But anyway,
out of 10, I had this at a 9 because I put Rear Window at a 10, and I had this one at a 9. What would you think?
7.5.
Okay,
that's generous.
We're gonna get ravaged in the comments.
Oh my gosh, they're gonna kill me.
They're gonna kill us.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's episode 2. Thank you guys for watching.
Yeah.
So next week, watch The Birds. We're gonna continue with our Alfred Hitchcock October spooky Halloween theme.
Yeah.
The Birds is another classic film of his.
After you watch that, you're gonna be freaked out by every little flyby.
Every little squirrel. Yeah, we'll see. I'll have to watch it. Yeah. Thanks, Dad.
Okay. Love you, son.
Love you too.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.